Welcome to the Plant Cunning Podcast,
where we explore a relationship to plants, other people, and the mysteries of nature.
Coming to you from the high Allegheny Plateau in central New York.
We are your hosts, A.C. Stauble
and Isaac Hill.
Welcome to another episode of the Plant Cunning Podcast. Today we have the one and only Robin Rose Bennett returning, and we have a fantastic conversation with her, ranging from what the role of an herbalist and green witch is in this intense time, to her children's book, The Young Green Witch's Guide to Plant Magic, and a fun ritual that you can do with plantain, and all sorts of stuff in between. Before we get to the episode, I just want to thank everybody who is a listener and a Patreon supporter, and who has booked a reading with me, and who, thank you so much. Thanks for listening. Thanks for supporting us. And if you want to help out, you can always give us a 5-star review. You can leave a comment saying what you liked about the episode in the YouTube, and you can share this with your friends. Also, if you want to get a Vedic astrology reading with me, you can do so by emailing info@plantcunning.com, and we will set up a time to do a reading. I practice in a traditional lineage of Vedic astrology, and we look at the birth chart as a map of your karma. So if that sounds interesting to you, you want to see an analysis of your karma, just hit me up at info@plantcunning.com, and we can set up a reading. Okay, I hope you enjoyed the episode. Today on the Plant Cunning Podcast, we are honored to welcome back Robin Rose Bennett, who is a fantastic herbalist, author, and green witch. And so how have you been doing, Robin Rose?
I'm great, actually, absolutely marvelous. And as AC and I were just saying kind of backstage, that's juxtaposed with the horror show going on around us about what's going on in our world. So there's always this, both and. But personally, I'm doing beautifully and thankful for it. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, these are definitely very intense times, and they don't seem to be letting up for a while. I mean, looking at the astrology, we're kind of even just getting started.
No, this is our lives. This is what we came for, to be part of rebirthing the world of compassion and connection and kinship. And this is why herbalists really have such a important piece of the puzzle to play, right?
Yeah, I really do feel like that herbalists have a big role to play in supporting communities in trying times, and just seeing how herbalists will form mutual aid networks quickly to get herbs and support and care to the people, and how herbalists are helping with connecting folks to nature again in the various ways that we do that. And it's huge.
Uniquely, right? Each of us have unique ways that we're doing the thing, as well as does everybody else in the world. Now it's just, I think some of us know that we're part of this amazing web of, reconnection and rebirth. And that helps us, correct me if I'm wrong, but it definitely helps me to feel less despairing, or not to stay in that place, because I know what we're also doing the healing, weaving work. If you don't have a context for the evolutionary chaos of now, as I call it, ouch, 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 ouch.
Yeah, for real. Yeah, I mean, and I think that's part of the part of the predicament is that with the dominant paradigm, it's nihilistic, like it's material reductionist, and there's no coherent context that makes sense from a spiritual perspective. And I think it's part of the malaise that people are feeling.
Yes, the malaise and the fear and all of it is, and yet I find it doesn't take, even introducing one little notion of something, can help somebody kind of come out of that. That's been my experience. It's not, because it's our nature to actually care about one another and connect as a species. I mean, personally, one can be more introverted and one more extroverted, right? But that, that essential connection, um, it doesn't take that much to spark it. I find I put myself out to do that for like a neighbor who is, just kind of sitting in her house alone and thinking the worst possible, script and story. And it makes a difference because I think every bit of healing and touching that we do ripples out.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and sometimes we don't realize how much that little connection point, that one reaching out can really make such a difference in people's lives.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, I think we don't have time to indulge all of our insecurities, things like should I or shouldn't I or how will it be received? We kind of have to
Yeah,
dare.
that's true.
We kind of have to dare because it's like seriously now or never. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to, go off on the whole thing. I think we should talk about herbs and, you know,
Yeah.
our
Yeah.
world that we are part of and spreading. And at the same time, it's like, it's hard to even believe what's happening
I
Yeah.
know.
in the
Yeah.
streets and in our country, if, in terms of we are in the US.
Hmm.
But yeah, like, I mean, I picked nettles this morning, right? I put nettles in my breakfast.
Nice.
That's all real too.
Yeah, totally.
Right. Yeah, and sometimes there's this such a big difference between what's happening in the world at large and then what's happening on a personal level.
Yeah.
Um, but they are interconnected, you know. And as somebody who, you know, a lot of younger herbalists and green witches and spiritual practitioners look up to, like from your perspective, like what is the role of the herbalist and the green witch in this time? You know, I mean, we've talked a little bit about that too, but like,
Mm.
do you have a
Yeah, I think it's to, I mean, again, I don't think there's one role for
yeah.
everybody who defines in a certain way. There's room for all of our diversity. And having said that, I see the opportunity is to help people remember what really the real world is.
Mm,
Because sometimes we can be told, like, oh, well, get real, this is, you got to be secure or whatever, whatever, right? But the real world, the reality of cycles of, birth, life, death, rebirth, how they're reflected throughout time and every moment in nature and in our bodies, like connecting us with the reality under the dramas
hmm
with the help of the plants.
hmm
That's a really big piece. And, another beautiful part is helping people experience how the plants love us.
mm,
Yeah.
yeah.
That opens people's hearts in a way that is like there's no going back, in a sense, when you felt that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's a big piece. And I love that Robin Wall Kimmerer put that into the mainstream with her
Mm-hmm.
with her books, um, just excellent that she got that thought even out
Yeah.
into, a wider audience than your average herbalist, gets to speak to. So I think that the love that permeates nature and that the plants have for us and help us heal, in terms of healing itself, herbalists who work like in the vitalist tradition or the green witch tradition and traditions that support the wisdom that our bodies are oriented to heal, right, will is a wonderful antidote to the medical, tidal waves and tsunamis of fear that are poured over us, from those systems that are broken,
Yeah.
Yeah.
right? We are in a time of broken systems. So maybe then it brings in what AC said about, this system of networks of support that
Yeah.
Mm.
herbalists bring, but I think if we really wanted to net it just like down in the simplest terms, it's we bring in the story, the rebirthing of the story that we are essentially interwoven in the web of life.
Mm-hmm. I remember the first time I really felt that love from a plant, of like that deep connection of like, oh, these plants are here for me and they are like willing to share themselves with me was at Tweefontein Herb Farm when I was living there in 2012. There was no mullein on the property anywhere when we moved in. There was tons of mugwort, tons of goldenrod, tons of roses, and all these other wild plants as we were starting to cultivate the gardens again there from being a little wild. And we planted this like row of calendula at the top of Perennial Hill. And that year, mullein just popped up all throughout that top row where the calendula was. And at first it grows in a basal rosette like the calendula does. And so it was kind of like sneaking in there. You know how sometimes plants are opportunists like that and they grow with other plants in your garden that you planted that look similar.
Yeah.
And so we kind of just like let the mullein grow. And then we had this beautiful protective row of mullein at the top of Perennial Hill. And it was we just let the big stalks go, for that year and the next year. And mullein is one of the plants that literally has helped me in my life with my asthma to stay alive. So I was so grateful for seeing it there without planting it.
Exactly. Yeah. They come to you. And having, worked as an herbalist my first 10 years in Manhattan, I really saw that, right? Because we would
Yeah.
in the park, in Central Park, and we'd be like, oh, we really need St. John's wort. And so
Uh-huh.
we'd walk around the reservoir and we'd call and we'd say, we need you to come. We need you to come. And every time a day would come, where somebody would pick up the phone and call me. We weren't texting yet. They'd pick up the phone and call me and say, Robin, remember when we did blah, blah, blah? There's a swath of it now at in front of the reservoir at 90th and blah, blah. Let's go. So, yeah, they are very, very responsive. And I was thinking this morning that one of the most profound experiences of communion I've had with a plant in a long time, and I've had many,
Uh-huh.
was recently with the plant we call poison ivy,
Uh-huh.
that I call potent ivy because it
Ooh, I love that.
and I wrote about it on my Substack. I think it was my opening post that I did on Substack. So I want to encourage you and anyone listening, if you're curious about it, to read it. But it did start with an offering before I was taking out the plant. And I offered some tobacco, I offered some crystal. And then the long and the short of my post, of my storytelling, is that by some time in that experience, the potent ivy was taking itself out of the ground for me. I've never experienced anything like it, honestly. It was just like, here,
Oh,
here I am. So I tried to write it in a way that you could actually imagine this could happen, but it was absolutely gorgeous.
that is so potent, like you said, to have the potent ivy like just offering itself to you in that way of like, you're right, maybe I don't need to grow right here and I'll work with you in this way.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and somebody asked me, "Oh, did you replant it?" I said, "No, I didn't replant it. I was clear to the plant. I was going to compost.
yeah.
I did kind of say, well, maybe you want to grow by that person's house.
Yeah.
And I did have an experience. This is fun. When I moved in, all the coltsfoot was across the street at my neighbor's, and the next year
Mhm.
it was all at my house.
Really?
I like looked over, there was none on their side, and it was all on my side. It's like, oh, we'd rather be at your house. I'm like,
That's so cute.
"Mhm."
And that's the kind of thing that like happens all the time, but people don't notice because all they see is green.
I remember feeling that. I remember
Yeah.
feeling like everything's just green. How on earth am I going to ever learn anything? You know,
Hmm.
when I came back to the city from my first studies and I'm in the park and I'm going, oh my God, everything looks the same. I'm never going to learn anything. And besides that, aren't all the plants here sick? I mean, I just had this terrible, kind of story about it because I was looking at sycamore trees
Mm.
So for
Mm.
those who don't know, right, the sycamore bark peels.
Yes.
I see it and I'm thinking like, oh, they're sick. They-
Uh-huh.
They're being
Mhm.
themselves, but
Yeah.
we learn,
So,
right? And it's joyful learning. Like the learning never ends. That's another thing herbalists can, I think, help with, right? Is the wonder of the
Yeah.
world
Mhm.
because it just never stops. It never stops.
I know.
I was just thinking about that today and last night because like why being on this path and like being so obsessed with the plants and with the stars and planets and so on. I was like, there's something wrong with me. Like it's really continuation of this wonder that started when I was a little kid. And it's
No, there's not. That's not something wrong with you. That's something right with you. That's something good.
I
We like this.
I know there's you got to like
Oh, but
question
I
every
know.
once in a while.
No, I do know what you mean. I know what you mean. I was just telling my apprentices not too long ago, and they laughed. I said, I can remember like being in my apartment in Manhattan, a gazillion stories up from the ground, and I was getting ready to run a retreat I was doing, and I was just kind of, I guess, reckoning with being so different, right?
Ah.
Yeah.
And I'm walking around packing crystals and plants and whatever, going like, why did I have to be a witch? Of all
Right?
I've been born as, why did I have to be a witch? And now I'm like, I'm so lucky, you know.
Yeah, I know.
But we go through phases of like,
Yeah,
it's not, here's my little line about that. It's not easy to be sane in an insane culture.
right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's not. And then you have to be an outsider.
Hmm.
And that comes with its difficulty. But then you've got the community with the other outsiders and with all the plants and the animals and the nature spirits there.
Mm-hmm.
Enough,
It's a
right?
much wider community.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
A much larger community, including, the elements.
Yeah.
And as you said, the stars, as above, so below, as within us, so reveals. And I mean, and that's part of the healing work too, because what we see going around us, this hideous, like hanging on to dominator culture, which is crumbling before our eyes, is also reflections of the places that need healing inside us. You know, we're not
Mm-hmm.
immune, it's not separate, it's all connected.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, speaking of the communities that we have, I sort of think of you lovingly in community with my other herbal aunties like Deb Soul and Kate Gilday and Pam Montgomery and so many of the beautiful like Northeast herbalists that I have looked up to for many years. So, do you want to speak a little bit about like how you have connected with those other
Yeah,
herbalists and yeah.
I'd love to. And we're all still in touch, which is beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
And we would, at one point, we were a little group. We called ourselves the Earth Sisters.
Oh.
And so there were not like, there were conferences out west,
Mm-hmm.
but there weren't really like conferences yet out, back east. There was definitely not the internet. And there were books, but not like now. And so we would meet at one of our homes and then at another of our homes, another of our homes, and we would basically have our own little mini herbal school
Mm-hmm.
conference. And we would taste tinctures and not look at what they were and say, what do you feel? What do you feel? What do you feel? Things like that. So that's very precious to me, these incredible memories. And Gail
Mm-hmm.
Elwick was also a part of that. She who is became an ancestor too soon you know,
Yeah.
in my finite perception, too soon. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
and there was a couple others, Jane LaForce and Becca Harbor, but you mentioned like kind of those of us who are still like really closely in touch.
Mm-hmm.
And the funniest one was when they came to me in New York City.
Oh,
And
I
I
bet.
sometimes felt like, am I a fraud herbalist? Because I would go
Uh-huh.
to their places and like see these spreads of land, and some of them had been, doing this since they were way younger than I was not into this when I was younger. This was not like my path at this point, earlier. But anyway, so I would feel like, am I really an herbalist? Can I possibly be an herbalist? And look at Deb Sewell, look at her place, look at her,
Mm.
you know, and of course I was. It was just
Yeah.
different, but
Yeah.
I wasn't sure. Anyway, so they came and I was just determined, like to show them, that there was nature in New York City. I walked their little butts off. They were so exhausted. I took them around like every nook and cranny in Central Park and this wild spot and that place I know about. And they were so tired.
Yeah, you really do get fit in the city. Like it's surprising, but you have to walk everywhere. And I guess in the city in Central Park, it's a pretty big park. So if there's different corners and ecosystems, you're walking.
And not only that, but here they all live in these like beautiful country places, and just the sheer energy of being in the city, it was already like could knock you, sideways.
Right.
And they
Yeah.
were not used to being there. Yeah.
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 Let's just say
I,
it nicely that way. They were not used to being there. But anyway, it was in my recollection, it was a great day. And I also
Mhm.
remember this other funny thing. I think it was Pam woke up earliest and she said, I went through every cabinet at your house. And I'm like, Robin, do you have coffee? Do you have food? I can't find anything but herbs.
You're like, who needs coffee or food when there's herbs?
Well, we do need coffee, AC, but
I didn't copy this.
Yeah,
Okay.
we also like our bean tea.
I love my beans. Yes, I do.
Yes. Oh,
But
that's
it was funny. She's like, where do you keep your food? Like I'm in your kitchen looking and everything is another herbal. So that was funny. And I was like, yeah,
yeah.
that's fun. I guess I should probably find a prominent place for some food too.
Yeah. There's a surprising amount of food in the city too on the trees that as we're walking around, I'm always like, oh, June berries or mulberries, like in the certain seasons. Like I'm glad that so many of the landscape folks in New York City planted like food trees and ginkgo and other things like that too.
Yeah, yeah. There and plants come as we were just discussing with mullein and Kosford right? Plants come
Yeah.
when they are. Right.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
um, if I want, I do have other places to gather hawthorn. But I love to go
Mm.
back to the city to gather my hawthorn. I don't live, I mean, I live
Mm.
on the edge of 3,000 acres of protected state forest.
Mhm.
But there are some things that it's still good to get in the city.
I know. I feel like the energy of place is in the roots of that hawthorn tree and into the berries, and sometimes that's exactly the medicine that you need if you're from the city, versus hawthorn from up by me a few 4 hours away.
Maybe. I mean, I think that's kind of close enough regionally to still have that resonance, like
Okay.
I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but I would think of that as still regional enough. Maybe
Yeah.
Philly is within, an hour or two, but
Yeah.
yeah, and then also there's are more. I don't live in New York anymore, obviously, but
Mhm.
there are new like foraging places that have been planted for people, like literally for
Oh.
people to come. And so this is part of like what we have, like the generation before me and my generation and now you, and is I think this is what we have brought about, in the consciousness of culture, that things like that could be created in New York City.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like they're having food forests in major cities, and foraging is big. I remember in Pittsburgh last time we were there. I used to go and harvest mulberries and Juneberries, and people thought I was crazy. People, what are you doing? Those are poisonous.
Mhm.
But last time, it was a couple of years ago, we saw some Juneberries. We were there and started harvesting them, and someone took a picture. It's like, and I was like, you can eat these. He was like, yeah, I know. I'm telling my foraging group, and it's like,
Nice.
there's foraging groups.
That's progress, right? That's progress, and teaching people to respect and not just take, right? That's another thing
Yeah.
that
Mm.
can do and must do,
Yeah.
to teach about ethical foraging
Yeah.
as well as growing. I didn't learn how to take care of plants, i.e. garden, until after I had been an herbalist and a wildcrafter for years. And it's pretty much one of the few things I would say I would do it differently if I had that option, because just learning to take care of the plants is an essential part of, of reciprocal blessings between us and them. But I learned,
Mhm.
I found my way to it.
Yep.
Definitely.
To it.
Yeah. For me, gardening has always been that's been like the biggest impulse, since I was a kid, is like to like work with grow the plants, and kind of also like collect the plants. There's a little acquisitive side to that too. But I've always loved it. And with permaculture, I like this version that people like Ben Falk talk about, where it's like instead of like the landscape, you're creating a highly forageable landscape. So it's like in between garden and wild, you're tending it, you're taking care of it, but you're also letting it grow wild to a certain degree too. There's this like
You'll have to
highly
come, you'll have to come see my gardens. You want to see the epitome of that. Maybe more wild than tended, but definitely.
Hmm.
In fact, I made a little video about it this morning that, I've
Oh,
stopped asking my gardens for plants at this time of year. I've turned it over, letting it rest. But if the
hmm.
wilds are still giving me nettles or garlic mustard or,
Right?
onion grass, I'm gonna accept that.
yeah,
Yeah, totally.
definitely.
So I wanted to ask you,
Well,
go ahead.
well, they're also like with the gardening too. With like the permaculture, one of the things I like about it is that there's like levels of intensity of cultivation too. Like you have the more
Yeah.
wild, you have the more in between, and then you have the zone one gardens. And so like this year, I made my zodiac garden, and I've been working on that, and it's really nice to have that really like more. It's like a formal garden kind of, but it's also like a theme garden.
Uh-huh.
And I was when I was yeah.
Wait, your zodiac garden. So do you
Yeah.
have like an Aries plant area and a Pisces
Hmm.
plant area?
Yeah.
So it's a square that's cut into each quadrant is cut into three. So there's 12 signs. Aries is pointed east, and then you go around, and so each bed is planted with plants associated with that sign.
I
So
love it. And with like with the sun sign
with
associated.
Yeah.
yeah, with
What
that
what
with
are
that
your
zodiac sign.
what are
Hmm.
your sun signs?
I'm a Capricorn sun, Cancer, rising Cancer moon.
Um,
Beautiful.
I'm a tropical Cancer sun, and my sun and her moon are conjunct.
Yeah, we have the opposite.
Yeah. It's a good combo.
Yeah.
We'll have to have like one of the sun moon conjunct is one of the synastry things.
What about you?
A Sagittarian sun,
Uh-huh.
Taurus rising, Aquarius moon.
Oh, nice.
Oh,
Awesome.
Aquarius moon, yeah, me too. Me too. We got
Oh.
good outsider moons.
Oh, there we go. Hi.
Yeah.
And caring about community and caring
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
community, and like dedicated to community.
yeah.
Hmm.
I think one of my favorite things about having open to the plants, besides physical and other healings I've received personally, is the way that they help us to become who we're here to be.
Mm,
And then what I see over and over again is then people just naturally start to offer their gifts.
yeah,
Hmm.
That's what we need. Right? We need
Yeah.
fully embodied humans offering their gifts authentically for the benefit, for their own pleasure. This is my, thought, is for our own pleasure and the
Hmm.
benefit of all beings, and that will always work together. And as we have that, we have more satisfied people. We're not going to have the kind of mess, that we're in right now. But I don't. We're here for this. We came
Yeah.
yeah,
to be here in this bridge time as one thing goes down and another thing rises. So,
Hmm.
I think it's helpful to remember that, that we're here, we're the ones, as it said, right? We're the ones we've been waiting for, and we were born for these times. Like those things can start to sound trite but they're true,
Yeah.
yeah.
true.
I believe it. Yeah.
Yeah. And we need each other. We need all the gifts, so yeah, the plants know who they are and they help us know who we are.
Hmm.
And I think that's really what you said is a really important part of the spiritual path, from my perspective at least. Like, it's about becoming more fully yourself, you know, and becoming whole, and so then when the more fully ourselves we can become and the more whole we can become, the more of an anchor we can be for other people too, especially in times of chaos.
Mm.
Absolutely. And the only thing I would ask you to consider a possible difference is we're already whole. It's more of
Mm.
owning, knowing, come to feel it, realize it, because you don't have to become whole. You're already whole.
Mm.
It, I guess for me, there's like there's all these warring um, fears and desires, you know, all the like these are all these, and from a higher perspective, we are whole, but there's all this change the manas, the mind, it's always changing, and so that's the part that like it feels like it isn't whole.
It feels like it, but it is. It's just like you can feel disconnected, but you can't actually be disconnected.
Mm.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, like you can think you're not part of nature, but you
Oh, right.
can't
You
not
are.
be.
There's no
Yeah.
Yeah.
way to not. So, and just in keeping with what you were just talking about, Isaac, I want to say my own personal. So, I do my reading every morning from my Green Witch's Pocketbook of Wisdom, Big Little Life Tips. My reading this morning
Mm-hmm.
was make a safe, oh, what's the wording exactly? But it's basically make a in my book upstairs, it's bookmarked, but this isn't my own personal
Mm-hmm.
copy. It's like make a safe place for every part of yourself to be.
Mm. Hmm.
And so wholeness isn't about getting rid of parts of ourselves. It's like this is all me,
Yeah.
Mm.
all me. The grieving one, the
Yeah.
joyful one, the
Yeah.
annoying one, the compassionate one, the all of it.
Mm.
And the parts that need to go fall away naturally. Whereas when we try to get rid of them, they just stick to us like glue.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
What you repress, the return of the repressed.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's what we're seeing around us.
Oh yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
That's what we're seeing. That's a
Okay.
good way to put what we're seeing around us.
Absolutely.
Yeah, yeah. And yeah. And, bringing in, you talked about the elder aunties, right? But then we want
Yeah.
to bring in like the younger generation.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I wrote the Young Green Witch's Guide
Yeah.
to Plant Magic, right? Because we need them, right? We need
Yes.
the young generations to wake up to this.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it can be hard too when children are given an iPad at age 3, and there's whereas like in previous generations you might be pushed outside to go play.
Yeah,
Now you're given a an iPad, so it can be hard to form that connection um,
yeah.
early on. So yeah, can you tell us a little bit about the book and what it is? You told us a little bit about why, but yeah, yeah,
It's your children's book.
yeah.
Yeah, can I hold it up? I'll show you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see it.
Just the covers, just to hug
Gorgeous.
yourself. It's so beautiful.
Oh, I love it.
Thank you,
Mm.
Rachel Grant, the illustrator.
Mm.
So, I have written a novel, which is not out in the world yet. And I had presented it to an agent who said, I really like this, but I only do kids market.
Mm.
Oh, well, months later, I get an email from her and she says, Robin, an editor's approached me with something. Are you at all interested in writing an herbal book for young people that's empowering, feminist, and witchy?
Oh,
Hmm.
yes, please.
Did they write this description and say, call Robin? So
Isn't that great?
yeah, it was totally great. So of course I said yes, and that's how this book came into being. Interestingly, that editor and publisher, they didn't end up buying the book, someone else did, but
Oh.
nonetheless. So it's the most kind of organized no, what do I mean? It's the only book I've ever written where I started with an outline.
Uh-huh.
Oh, okay.
And so it's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, like 9 main plants. And
Okay.
every plant is presented like some information about it, how you identify it, where it grows, and then it's what the plant's magic is,
Mhm.
what it says. It has a poem, and
Ooh.
then it's the plant in the kitchen, the plant in herbal medicine, and the plant in ritual.
Mm.
Oh,
So
lovely.
it's like so fun. It was like so
Yes.
fun to write. And
Yeah.
when I get pictures that kids and their parents send me of their kids like reading the book or making something from it. It's just yes, it's like that is so exciting. Uh,
Yes.
if you want to, do you want to hear?
Yeah, like maybe choose one of the plants to highlight and tell us about.
Here's an image of the violet.
Oh,
Uh,
yes.
gorgeous.
So beautiful. And so
Yeah.
violet is soothing heart magic. Soothing heart magic. We need a lot of that right now.
Yes.
Um, Also known as sweet blue violet, heartsease, Johnny Jump Up. And what violet says is open your heart. You are strong enough to be gentle.
Oh.
And then the poem is Meet Violet. So each poem is Meet Plantain, Meet Violet,
Mm.
Meet Violet. Violet teaches, but never preaches. She melts hot rage, so you turn the page. To find new peace, relief, and release softens your heart when it's torn apart. If you are mad, she won't say that's bad. If you must cry, Violet won't ask why. She helps tears flow so you can let go.
Hmm. That's
So,
beautiful. And I
yeah, so
resonate.
each chapter has that at the beginning and then all the kind of information. But I said,
Mhm.
and
Mm.
then, oh, her illustrations are just,
Yes. Hmm.
here's Rose. I'll show you another
Oh,
picture.
yes,
Rose's
please.
chapter.
Gorgeous. Mm.
Rose's magic is self-love and claim your space magic.
Oh, definitely.
Love
Let's go.
yourself. And what she says is love yourself just the way you are.
Hmm.
But claim your
Hmm.
space magic is really important too. Right?
It is.
That's a big one. That's like our ability to say yes and no.
Mm-hmm.
And I emphasize throughout, like I do in all my books, how the spirit medicine will always have a physical counterpart in what it does in the body.
Mhm.
Uh-huh.
And that's a
Yes.
good way to look at the spiritual gifts of the plants to keep it really grounded in reality.
Yeah,
So
that's
it's just
true.
a pretty sounding idea.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I mean, and there's a reason why roses protect your space. I mean, because it protects the space.
The thorns, yeah.
Yeah, it's got thorns.
Yeah.
So can you give us an example of how you would use that in a protect your space ritual, or working?
Sure. Well, I mean, I was just when I said that that's the magic, I mean that that is something that this plant helps you do internally.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
So working with the spirit of that plant.
When you drink rose tea, right, you are taking in that medicine of like the open, right, of the blossom and the thorns. So it's like the yes and the no.
Oh, yeah.
Mm.
Claim your space. In
Mm.
terms of a ritual, I mean, the one that I have in the book is a like a crossing of a threshold ritual where the kids, I mean, really, they say it's for kids, but it's for any of us.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You can spread the roses across a threshold, and then when you cross to the other side, you have open to whatever it is, or maybe you've pushed out whatever it is that you choose. I mean, there actually is one like that about claiming your space also for plantain, right?
Mm.
Plantain is very under um, its reputation is like doesn't it it's so much more than it's
Oh,
reputed to
yeah.
be. And not only like that, it strengthens our veins and our lungs and our kidneys. It's an amazing plant, right? But also historically, it was much more respected as like a sacred magical
Hmm.
plant than
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's one of the nine herbs from the nine herbs charm.
Yeah.
right, exactly, from the old Anglo-Saxon, like from the 1000s, right? um, all that, and you can roast it and have a snack too, of plantain seeds. But so one of the right, 10th century, right, one of the nine sacred herbs or nine herbs charm. Um, so plantain, like a spell I have here with plantain is to put the leaves in a rosette, mirroring the way the plant grows, and at least four for air, east, south, west, and north.
Hmm.
And could put words under each leaf that say what you want to draw to you, right? Or what you want to release. And so
Yeah.
that's just a touch of what that ritual is. But, again, it's written for, to be accessible to young people, and then everybody will make it their own, however they do it.
Yeah.
Um,
And I love how that, like, one of the main actions of plantain is used for drawing out,
exactly.
and so you're using that magically. That's beautiful. Yeah.
Exactly. So it's like it keeps bringing us back into the both and that we're embodied spirit, right? And that what is true, spiritually is going to have that physical mirror.
Yeah, I was sort of when you said plantain, I was like, oh, I wonder where she's going to go with this as far as ritual. Like, what do I use plantain for? And it's like mostly like drawing out a bee sting or drawing out like an
Yeah.
irritation from the skin, and also soothing
Mhm.
and coating the mucous membranes and things like this. So it's interesting that like maybe if I had thought about it one more step, I would have gotten it. Like, of like what you use for the ritual, because it's so obvious when once you said it, I was like, oh, of course.
Right, but it's also like everything in this book is to encourage the kids to go outside, to do offerings,
Yeah.
to sit and breathe, or to write, or to draw with the plants to get their own,
Mm.
experiences of what the plants offer to them, and
Yeah.
definitely it's also about teaching about the giving back. As I said,
Yeah.
Hmm.
we don't want to, the way that plants have become, herbal medicine has become popular, right, is then led to the commercialism, which has led to that, old paradigm mindset of take, 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 take.
Hmm.
So that's something that I feel really strongly about, is
Yeah.
teaching in a way that people remember they're not there just for us.
Exactly. Yes. Totally.
Right.
Hmm.
But they are very accepting and very giving.
Hmm.
Generous, 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 loving, loving, forgiving also, this is
Yes.
something I also been there because I think of all the mistakes I made, or I'd bring home
Right.
plants that were filled with bugs if I had only just looked at the underside instead of taken, but
Yeah.
then it's a teaching, right?
Yeah.
Slow down, be more perceptive, more attentive. And, you know, especially because I've always worked with the weeds primarily, all the wild plants. Um, they're like, it's okay. It's okay. There's still a lot of mugwort in Central Park. Don't worry, Robin, you know.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's kind of hard to overharvest mugwort.
Yeah, but even then, like I find it grievous and painful if I see people going,
Yeah. Yeah.
or I'll just go grab a handful of that. I'm like, please don't.
Yeah, please don't. Yeah. Hmm.
Right. Yeah. And it is especially for people like I rush a little bit sometimes, I'm like, "Arr." So for me, I have to like remind myself to calm down, slow down, take my time, talk to the plant, before I harvest or before whatever I do with it. But I do forget sometimes too.
Oh, really? You're human? Yes, I forget
Yeah.
sometimes too, Isaac, and anybody
Yeah.
listening. Yes, yes.
Yeah.
And I find that the plants really calm me up short when I do forget.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One time I harvested teasel root that was in a second year instead of first year. And I was like, I don't I don't think I did that right. I was like, I think we're supposed to get the first year plant. And I did some more research. I was like, yeah, it is the first year plant. So I was like, what do I do with this like half gallon of tincture that I made of the second year plant? And it took care of it for me. It just jumped right off the shelf.
Broke.
Yeah.
Yep. Hmm.
Yeah. So that took care of that.
It's okay. They forgave you. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've, they'd probably already set their seeds anyway.
Right. Yeah. And now I remember, okay, right. It's the first year plants of the biennials because the second year plants have put all their energy to the seed and the root is dying. So we want to have that vibrancy from the first year rosette plants. So,
Exactly. And, to help your students and mine to kind of just think about the logic of that rather than memorize the fact, then you apply it to other things too. Like,
yeah.
where do I want my energy to be going? right now.
Mm.
I don't have energy for everything,
Mm.
right? And
Mhm.
so, what's the essential, or even like looking at motherwort and how the plant leaves are more like palm-like,
Mm.
early in the season. And then by the
Yeah.
end of the season, up at the top of the plant, they're like these little spears,
Yeah.
because the leaves aren't like where the energy is right then. The energy went into the flowers and the seeds.
Yeah.
Right. So, I mean, these things early on when I didn't have somebody like standing over my shoulder, I wish I'd had like me standing, a version of me standing over my shoulder. I was so confused, right?
Yeah.
So confused. So, is this the same plant? So they
Yeah.
have
Mhm.
range. They have great range,
They
and
really do.
they're wise about, like what to do with their energy. And we have good instincts around that, but we also get to consciously make choices in a different, with a more, more possible range of where
Yes.
we want to put our creative energy at any given moment, or our, whatever it is. But
Right.
yeah, rushing around, I understand, I'm a Sag.
Yeah. You
But
cruise around, right? Mhm.
but resting is vitally important too.
Yeah. So where are you putting your energy right now, Robin, in this autumnal season?
Get into winter.
Moving into the season of rest more. What are the projects that are you're working on, or that are lighting you up, or where are you at with your energy?
Let's see, where am I at? I am um, super crazy excited about a project I'm about to launch this year, which is something I've been working on all last year, which is a 12 module online course called
Awesome.
Apothecary. And I think we just started dropping like a trailer or two, like yesterday.
Wow.
And so I'm going to offer that like with a super duper special in December. I won't say anything more about that, but for the
Mhm.
whole month of December, super special on that. But it's an evergreen course, and goes through a number of body systems, and there's demos and recipes and quizzes. And so it's for, all the people who have wanted to study with me, who maybe live too far or they can't meet a certain schedule,
Mm.
right? So that's a big thing, that again we've been working on for at least a year now, and it's
Wow.
ready. So any minute now.
Congrats.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so
That's
much.
a big thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, thanks. It's a big thing. And I'm recording some new meditations. And I actually just recorded my pocketbook as an audiobook. So
Ooh, lovely.
yeah, I'll be putting that out as soon as I figure out how you do that step. I got the recording. It's beautiful. Now I need to know that piece of it. Um, and continuing to work on getting the novel
Yeah.
into the world. I can
Wonderful.
barely wait for people. I did drop one chapter in a newsletter recently, and I got a lot of great response. Very
Cool.
encouraging.
Can you
Yes.
tell us what it's about, or is that hush hush?
No, it's called Earth Song, and
Hmm.
it is a an epic story that takes place in the earliest time of humanity and the present,
Oh,
and
cool.
they're coming together. And it's an imagining that one horrible thing that one person did back then is what has spiraled into the state of polarization we're in now.
Wow.
There's an opportunity that has arisen,
Mm.
um, to bring about healing. Of course, there's just this one chance. And yeah, it's a sort of turns the Garden of Eden myth inside out and upside down.
Ooh.
So it's a
Wow.
creation story.
Okay.
Yeah,
I got the chills when you were talking about it, so I can't wait to read it.
thank you. I can't wait for you to be able to read it.
Yeah.
It's been a long time coming. Uh,
Amazing.
so yeah, but it'll be soon. I don't know exactly when, but that will be soon. And yeah, so that's kind of the big things that I can think of at the moment that are up.
Great.
Yeah, and I did shift my the way I do my apprenticeship program, like in a humongous way, and because it was the groups met at my home once a month for a 3-year program, which people could do for 1, 2, or 3 years.
Mm.
And this past year, for the first time, I switched it up and made it a residential program so people could come from anywhere. And it's a Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, 4 seasons of the year.
Mm.
That
Mm.
I'm moving into the second year of that in January.
Wow.
So that's been also rewarding and kind of delicious and exciting. And the some of the people in it who did the other format and this are like, I'm really glad I got to do both because I got to be at your house and blah, blah, blah. But the bonding that happens as a circle from getting to spend that kind of time together, not to mention the food. The
Yeah.
Right.
food that my chef cooks, right, is wonderful. So,
Mhm.
yeah, so that's coming up soon. But hopefully, in there is like for me personally in December, rest and
Yes.
relaxation and the quieter time of the year.
Mhm.
I don't tend to get like super caught up in the holiday craze.
Yeah. Hmm.
I don't. I
Yeah.
really like need that time. Um,
Hmm.
Yeah. And then
Yeah.
Yeah.
February, I always keep a quiet place for me. It's usually when I'll travel somewhere warm. I hope to
That's
get to do that this year. I've done that every year for a long time.
cool. Yes. I hope you get some sunshine.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Sweet. Well, thank you so much, Robin, for this beautiful conversation today. It's been lovely to connect with you again and
Oh,
sending you wild blessings.
thanks. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you.